Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Triple Chalice Tarot. I am your host, Taruka Bashaw, and I am accompanied by my lovely, gorgeous co-host, the sorceress herself, okay? The master sorceress, Miss Aluna Odette.
You are not
Aluna,
doing this.
yes. Aluna
Good
Tarot.
evening, everyone. Good evening.
So, Aluna, I wanted to make this show. Okay, it's something that I was observing yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I was on my Facebook, which you guys can follow me on at Taruk Fashal, all my social media platforms, and Aluna Tarot, all of it. Aluna Tarot, of course, you guys follow her. And I was on my Facebook, and I follow a few witch pages. Can you hear me good, by the way? Can you?
Yeah, I'm making you out perfectly.
Okay, so I follow a few witch pages, and this witch, she is the owner of her page, and she made a comment in a meme speaking of her having to defend herself, her having to defend her page, and her title as a witch because she posted a curse, some baneful magic on her page on how to curse someone, and she had quite a number of Wiccans literally attack her and tell her, well, I don't do that. I don't do curses. I follow the Wiccan read. The rule of three, I don't do that and all of this. And she had to go on and basically say, like, look, I'm not a Wiccan, okay? All witches are not Wiccans, and just because you don't practice baneful magic or just because you don't do curses on people doesn't mean that every witch doesn't do that, and doesn't mean that it's not a part of magic. And when I read this comment, and then I went back and found the actual curse, which was an Egyptian curse, an ancient Egyptian curse. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's from the Book of the Dead. I'm not sure, but she posted the curse. She went in detail about it. I could try to find it, but I don't think I am. But she posted it, and I went through the comments, and people were going crazy, just attacking, stating like I was saying earlier, just really going ham on her page, and she had to go one by one and literally post her about section. Like she had to screen print it or print screen it or whatever the hell, and post it under each comment stating like, this is not a Wiccan page. This is not a Wiccan page. So, it just kind of inspired me to want to speak on that because, I feel like there are a lot of people who just don't, a lot of these Wiccans, they just don't, and no offense to you if you are a Wiccan, okay? I just wanted to speak on this because, I just feel like this happens a lot. A lot of people really don't want to speak on the darker aspects of magic, or don't want to speak on the full sphere of what magic is.
Can I share my perspective
yes.
this whole thing? This is definitely something I have ran into being a part of the spiritual community as well, the magic and craft community as well, is we have a lot of more morality policing going on, okay? And what I mean by morality policing is it's like if someone, and as broad as spirituality is and all that it encompasses as far as sect, religions, dogmas, faiths, practices, it's kind of like you had made a comment about this earlier, Taruk, about how a lot more times Wiccans and even some pagans that they can come across as the Christians of the craft community. And going back to what I was originally stating about the morality policing, it happens so much, just because someone doesn't practice or announce themselves or follow your creed, it's not your place to try to go and school them or morally shun them, or and I've dealt with that a lot too, and literally I'm at the point that I just ignore it, but a lot more times I will block you or just remove you from my page if you kind of come over there with that, because I'm very much, and I said this in the last show, I'm very much about walking that middle path, because that is what the universe is. The universe is walking in duality. She is expansive duality. And I know how a lot of, the white lighters and very just a white, bright, Reiki healers and mystics of that sect, they kind of feel like, oh, well, just love will solve everything, and just all embrace of white light will cure everything and will solve everything. And it's like, at the end of the day, when Miss Universe wipes out an entire galaxy, when she wipes out nebulas, when she wipes out planets and life forms and stuff like that, it does not matter, okay, where you morally were standing. It does not matter. Like, she does not blink. She does not think twice. Now, I wanted you, Taruk, before I jump too fast ahead in it, to talk about your belief of the law of three and karma and things of that nature.
Yeah, of course. And when it comes to curses, I don't believe in the law of three. I don't believe in karma. These are all Wiccan New Age philosophies and laws and beliefs and rules, and I don't follow them. Okay, I feel like it's kind of like sin for Christianity. The law of three and karma is sin. Like, it's a sin version of Christianity. It's like, oh, if you do something bad, you're going to get it times three. You have to watch out for karma and all of that stuff. And no, I don't believe in that, okay? That is Wiccan law. That is Wiccan belief, a Wiccan belief system, and I don't believe in it, okay? Listen, if I have to defend myself, if somebody attacks me, if somebody comes for me, I'm going to lay into you, okay? I'm going to get the black candles. I'm going to get the dark books on magic, yes. And you're not going to shame me for it. I'm not going to be shamed by any Wiccans or any you little pagans out there. I am who I am, and I am what I am, okay? And I'm not going to apologize about it to anyone. So look, karma. I was reading some comments of some people in that post, and they were just saying, like, Wicca was created in the 1950s or 60s. This is a brand new type of religion, a brand new philosophy. The spirits that I work with are tens of thousands, even millions of years old, okay, that were created in the furnace of the universe, okay? Before all of these laws were manifested, before humans came up with all of these laws, these spirits were being born. And I don't follow man-made beliefs. I don't follow man-made, religions or any of these guidelines or rules. I go by my spirit and what I feel, and I go by my heart and my mind, okay? So if I'm compelled to light some black candles on that ass, if I'm compelled to open my grimoire and find, the darkest sigil to dismantle you, then I'm going to do it, and I will not feel guilty about it. You have to have responsibility when it comes to magic, and I am fully responsible for everything that I do. Okay, I am responsible, and I take full account and credibility for everything that I do, no matter if it's light or dark. So I'm not going to feel bad about it. Okay, and I do it with reason. I do it with reason when I go in, So all of this, it's going to come back to you threefold. No, it's not. That's not my life. That's not my belief system. That's yours. Just because if that's what you believe, then that's your reality. It's your universe. You create your own, environment and what you allow, but that does not happen for me. I don't believe in that, and this world, it doesn't show that karma exists. It doesn't show that, you get something bad in return. It's too many bad people out here thriving. It's too many, evil people out here eating, and it's too many good people out here suffering. It's too many good people out here doing good and not getting shit in return. So don't tell me about no damn karma, because it's not real for me, okay? So, Aluna, what do you think about this?
I'm just listening to you go off. I personally believe, through my own practice and through my own sort of experience with magic, I definitely want to say I agree with you in this, that you have to walk in your own responsibility towards magic. And a lot of times you have to, and that's one thing I really can't deal with the moral policing that happens in the spiritual community, because it's like everyone wants you to be white, light, or sheep, okay? Again, like I said in the other show that we did, I am all for the positive vibes. I'm all for it. I'm all for the fucking fancy aesthetics and vibing with people. If you have a conversation with me, you get to pick up on my spirit. But at the same time, okay, especially in the spiritual community, people ask of you, to just let things go, to just let things roll off, to not stand up for yourself, to kind of mince and mouse and whisper, okay? And it's like, how much can any person take before they're willing to go off and retaliate and defend themselves?
Yeah.
Okay, so very much I am for, honey, if you need to go in and tap into the left-hand path, then do that. Yeah. And I'm not saying, and like Tariq was saying about the responsibility of it, I feel like, okay, any person that comes along and makes your day upset or gives you bad vibes, if you're going out there hexing them, then that's just petty, you know, and that will, I feel like that will catch up with you and come back on you. But if you are walking in your truth, you're walking in authenticity, you are balanced in your in your approach to people, to life, to circumstances, and you're morally just in your own right. I'm not saying you're perfect. None of us are perfect. But if you're morally just, and then somebody comes and ultimately disrespects you on either a magical or even to the point, you know, you have some people that they take advantage of you, take your money, take your, you know, expend your time, you know, just take advantage of you, and you got to lay in and get that vindication. Like, that's a justice card, honey. The scales have to be returned to balance one way or another. And I know a lot of people, they like to just turn it over to karma or turn it over to the great divine and stuff like that. And I'm here to tell you no. Like, we're here to tell you no. Like, stand up for yourself, okay? Get into your magic and stop being afraid of the dark, because quite frankly, you know, that's an imbalance too. To cling so tightly to the light that you neglect your darkness. A lot of you, no tea, no shade, and we forgot to set this disclaimer, but it's like we always say, you're going to ultimately do you, and you should be proud of doing you. If you feel like you want to walk 365 days in light and harmony and peace and just let nothing shake you or rattle you, then aspire to that. But I'm going to be honest with you, it does come with an imbalance. It does come with the imbalance, because all the while your shadows, okay, the land of the moon, okay, your subconscious workings, if those are not being cleared out or those are not being in check, or if you are not communicating or establishing a relationship with your inner demons, okay, let's be real, your inner demons, if you're running from them and trying to play off that you're not a part of that, or that's just not of you, I feel like that's when those entities, not even entities, but that's when those attributes display themselves in destructive, chaotic manners. And you see a lot of times, and I'm not trying to pick on nobody, but I notice a lot of times those people that walk like that, they just try to walk so much in the light. You see all type of things not really happening in their lives. They're going through accidents. They're having car accidents. They're having illnesses. Yes. They're having, you know, getting laid off from their job. Yes. So it's like, okay, you're still walking in all this light and approaching everything with peace and harmony, but life is still kicking you in the ass. Okay? So when are you going to put your foot down? And here's another thing, too. Just to kind of set the record straight from my perspective, anything that you're doing that is not healing or of the self, like if you're not balancing your chakras, if you're not doing healing energetic work, if you're not channeling the elementals to, again, bring toward yourself, your own karmic and auric fields of energy, your chakra vortexes, if you're not doing any working of that notion on yourself, it's black magic. Okay, if you're doing anything outside of yourself, if you're calling, if you're casting to bring yourself money, a car, a house, to fix this situation, change that situation, that's black magic, because you are manipulating, whether seen or unseen, you're manipulating the cosmic webs and the what do they call it? The web strings of the universe. And you don't know, just because you can't see who's being affected. How do you know that car that the universe just manifested into your lap was taken away from somebody? Somebody lost that car, or the person lost the money that they had to get that car before it was transferred to you.
Or they died.
You know?
They
died, right. How do you know? So it's like a lot of people try to sweep under the rug, like, the real legitimacy of what black magic is. Anything that you're doing that's not of healing or orientation towards the self, if it's outside of you, is black magic. So what do you think about that, Taru?
I completely agree. And you know what? Those are entities. Those are entities that manifest, and it's going to work itself out in your life one way or the other, okay? You're not this benevolent, just all high and mighty, white light, fairy. Just no. This world is a duality, like you said. It's all a part of the universe. It's all a soup, okay, just intermingled in each other, and things happen. You know what I'm saying? So all of you guys need to stop. And also, I want to touch on this. Like, I am not a spokesperson for all witches. I'm not here as a representation for Wiccans, for witches, or anything. So, I read that somebody was like, you posting curses, it's making a bad name for all witches. No, I'm not here to speak for all witches. I'm not here to represent all witches, okay? I'm here for me to represent myself and my truth and my life and my beliefs, and sharing that, that one aspect of the world. I'm with the world. I'm just one aspect, of the universe. I'm one aspect of the divine. So I'm not here to be the spokesmodel or the all, encompassing witch image or occult image for everyone. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? So you guys need to stop that. Just because someone posts something that's dark or, of a more, I don't even want to say the word nefarious, because it's all negative sounding, but, something that's not all, fairies and flowers. Oh, well, that's a bad name for all witches. No, it's not, okay? We need to get past this crap. It's absolute crap, So I just wanted to say that, like, we do not represent. I don't represent all witches. I don't stand for all witches. I don't. I'm just for me, okay? What I know, my truth and my facts. And also, I wanted to talk about, just curses in general. I don't ever feel bad when I do them, and I feel like that's very important. When you go in and you open that book on dark magic and you do the ritual work to affect someone's life in a harmful way, okay, you have to take, like we said, full responsibility for whatever happens to them or to you in the process, because when you do lay into someone, it is a two-way street, and we know this, Aluna. You and I know this. When you open that portal and you send out that work, there might be work. Yeah, you have to be willing to get your hands dirty, and yes, your hands are dipped in the darkness, and there will be some residue, but you have to live with that. You have to be willing to put up with it, you know what I'm saying? And is it worth it? This is something that you have to really, I don't just go like on the whim and like, oh, well, I want to curse you. No, you have to like pry at me. You have to nudge and keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on. And then that's when I'm like, you know what? I have to call on the spirits on this person. I have to lay into them. And then I make that adult choice to lay that hammer down. you know, and I accept full responsibility. I accept anything, any consequences, because it's worth it to me at that point when if I have to open up that grimoire, you best to believe that I accept anything that comes my way, okay? And I've been in this game too long to have anyone try to tell me what I should and should not do and about some damn threefold law and all of this crap. No, that's not a part of my universe. It's not a part of my existence, and I refuse. I refuse to accept it. So, I mean, what do you think about that, Aluna?
Honey, I'm along for the ride for this one.
You know, because that's just how I feel. That's just how I really feel about it.
No, but it's so true, though.
I'm not going to be shamed.
No, and you shouldn't, and no one should, because, like I said, at the end of the day, we all have our natural defenses, okay? Where some people, they're out there. You know, when you're standing in line, and it's that big bulky guy that looks like, you know, he's part of whatever sort of gang, or he'll just sock you one if you try him. You're less likely to try to skip him in line than well, I wouldn't say the old lady, because that would be like so mean. And some people are like that. They're about that life to go skip an old person or just do something. But it's like paying attention to the cues of vulnerability, of seeing like, oh, can I try this person? And a lot of times people will underestimate those who they think are weaker. Okay? And like Taruk was saying, you know, it comes to an adult, it's left to the adult choice of saying, all right, how much am I going to take? This is enough. I need to go in to defend myself. I justify my own means. You don't need anyone else's justification for what you need to do. Okay? And going back to the morality policing, it needs it needs to stop. It needs to stop. It turns up. You will never, on my personal page, you will never see me go out to lash against any form of sect of whatever a person is doing. If you want to do that, that's fine. But what really kind of nudges me the wrong way is I've noticed sometimes, you know, I'll post something feeling myself or whatever, and not even, because I don't even be expressing too much about what's going on, but just expressing something that isn't of the light or whatever. I'll just be feeling some type of way. And it's like people, you know, you see people kind of coming or even sharing things that it's like, oh, well, you know, adhere to the light. You know, you're so much better than that. And it's like, let people have their emotions. Like, let people have their, you know, their room and their atmosphere on their page to feel how they want to feel and express how they want to feel. Like, let's all stop trying to dictate other people's emotions, experiences, validity, and life. Like, it's just becoming too much.
It is.
Okay? And like I said before, I'm to the point now, you know, it's getting to 2017, honey, like any little thing, okay, any little thing will get you cut from my list. And it's not even like that important, but it's like, for real, because I'm not going to sit there and follow someone just so I can watch them talk shit about my experience or indirectly or directly, okay, because I've experienced both.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit there and have someone sit there and try to pry at me or nudge at me from their side because they're feeling like, oh, they're just so Buddhist or so you know, about the Kundalini, the positive aspect of the Kundalinis and the chakras and shit. Like, no, not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody feels like you. Not everyone's magical experience is going to resonate with you. And we all need to be mature enough and independent, you know, mentally independent enough that it's like, okay, if you see somebody feeling some type of way or they're going in about something, let them have their moment. Okay? I love to see people like go off on a post and vent because you know what, that shows me that people are human and people are capable of frustration instead of trying to act like shit is just zen 24/7.
It's a lie.
You know?
It's a lie. It's a lie. Like, it's a both. You're not zen 24/7. You're not. You know, and these Wiccans take so much from these Hindu belief systems. half of you guys don't even really know the true meaning of a lot of these, Hindu philosophies like karma and dharma and the chakras and the kundalini. Like, listen, I don't come from that, okay? That's not part of my ancestry. It's not part of my heritage. It's not a part of my genealogy, okay? My ancestors have been through a lot of shit, okay? And their magic has been furnaced in the fire, okay? Yeah, my ancestors have some powerful, dark, they do have that. And that's a part of, see, I don't know what the listeners, or whoever, I don't know where y'all come from, but I have, I do have a balance in my ancestry, I don't have karma and dharma, that the threefold law, that doesn't come from my family tree, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't come from that, okay? But we've had to fight. My ancestors have had to fight. My ancestors have had to, slit chicken heads and goats and bathe in blood to get their will manifested into this world and to defeat their enemies. Yes, that's in my ancestry, okay? So a lot of you may fear that, a lot of you may run from that, a lot of you may, think that's just so dark and evil, but guess what? I embrace it and I accept it, and I'll be that. I will be that. And I'm not ashamed of it, and I'm not gonna feel bad or you feel sorry or feel like such a bad little witch, bad little witch you. I walk in it. I walk in it proudly, okay? When I have to curse, I am proud of it. I'm saying it right now. I say it. When I lay into someone and I put a curse on them, I am proud of it, and I don't care how any of you feel that's listening to it. I don't care. That's how you have to be. See, a real magician, a real sorcerer, a real adept in the black arts, we know what we must do, and you cannot have guilt when you lay that hammer, when you have to call on those spirits to cause harm, to invade someone's life, to invade someone's mind, to destroy them, to shake their foundation and crumble it like the Tower card, okay? When you have to do that, you have to completely own it. And you know what? Let's just keep it 100. If that person dies, you have to go dance on their damn grave. You have to go dance on their tombstone and enjoy. Yeah, I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it. That's how it has to be. And if you're not about that life, then guess what? Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay in your lane. Stay in your whitewashed, solar, just light. The sun is blinding me. I can't see anything but the light. Stay in that, but don't come over here. Don't come peering through the window, of the darkness. Because see, a part of you wants to get in. Okay, that's why you're over here.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because see, if y'all wouldn't be commenting under these memes of curses. Y'all wouldn't be commenting under these posts. But a part of you likes it. A lot of you are armchair at the end of the day. It's so safe to be, let's do a moon ritual for Diana. Let's go get some roses. Let's go pluck some petals. And, every petal you pluck is a wish to be granted. Oh, let's do some balloon magic. Let's go, release the balloons in the air with the wishes. Okay, stay there. Stay there, but don't come over here. Don't come over here. Okay? So, yeah. So
Luna, trying to regulate.
Trying to regulate. Don't regulate over here. Okay? Because some of us are short fused, and you don't want this. You know what I'm saying? Don't piss some of us off. Some of us, which is who have our hands. One hand is holding the sun, the other one's holding the moon. Okay? And
like
we
the
mix
death
it,
card
we juggle
in
it. Yeah, the death card in the African American deck. One hand is holding a skull, the other one's holding a fire.
The fires of creation.
Yeah, the fires of creation. I can create and I can destroy at the same time. We are living enactments of the universe. So if you, like Luna said, if you want to be imbalanced and only, love and light and all of that, that's wonderful. Yes, I'm not saying don't be about that love and light, but that's not all that there is.
Mm-mm.
And as the authentic, actual magical practitioner, I embrace all of it. I embrace everything. We're the real deal over here.
It's true. I'm just like, for the life of me, and I said this in the last show that we did, our pages are tarot oriented. We're not selling spells. We're not on here to prove our crafthood, our witchhood, our knowledge, our capability, and our potency to anyone, and also, like I said in the last show, okay, you should be careful. A lot of people should be very careful who you wag your finger at and who you are being judgmental of and who you're coming against. And this is not pumping of our chest. Well, Taruk had his moment.
I'm.
But I'm just saying, it's not really about that. But at the end of the day, I stand with Taruk in saying, if you come for it, and I'm left with no choice, if I feel energetic, harassment, a psychic attack, a psychic what they say? Provoking, okay, or any sort of hostility to the point that it's like I need to jump up and defend myself, you're gonna get slayed. Like I just don't know, and I don't feel bad. I don't feel
and
bad.
And we're not gonna feel bad. We're not gonna feel
I
bad,
don't.
and we're gonna go look at your stuff, and then when it happens, we're gonna laugh. Yeah, that's how you have to do it. That's real right there.
And reaching out to all the magicians out there, the practitioners out there, maybe some people just stepping into the craft themselves. Embrace your fucking duality. Like, so seriously, stop running after, the trending witches on Instagram or the trending practitioners on Instagram. And that goes for both sides. Being too dark, being clinging only to the darkness, or trying to cling only to the light. Like, stop that.
Yeah,
Embrace
it's not authentic.
Your path. It's not.
Yeah, it's not authentic, and it comes off very aesthetic-y, very just not real. And we can see, Aluna and I, we can see past the BS. We can definitely see past the bullshit when it comes to these, Instagram. I mean, we made a video about it. When it comes to these Instagram witches and all of that, we can see very much that you are an aesthetic type of person who wants to put on the garbs and, light the candles, but you have nothing really behind that, So we're very much good at telling who's who in this community. We can see the real. We know when there's real power behind someone, okay? Because we are empathic like that. We are empaths, so we're able to detect these things and see it in pictures, okay? Energy speaks. It resonates through. So, yeah, we can definitely pick up on that. Is there anything else you want to say, Luna?
Pretty much no. Going into, again, like I said, our pages, they're completely tarot-oriented. If we were to start, I feel like we should start going in about magic and stuff in possibly another show and just getting more into the topic of it. Yeah. But I think, honestly, I just want this show to resonate with people who might be standing on one side in particular because they feel that it will be damnation to their soul to venture into something else. Honey, you better get into both of it so you know how to have your shit.
Yeah,
okay?
like
how to defend yourself,
absolutely.
How to attack. Okay? You can't just take the high road with everything. You can't just walk away from everything, honey. You gotta slay.
How do you know the value of healing if you don't know the value of cursing or, the darker magic. You have to carry both. And I just want to end the show by once again restating. Okay, I want to bring it back home with this. You have to take full responsibility of whatever magic you do. Okay, when you curse somebody, this is something you have to really, really, really know that you want to do. And if in the middle of the spell you start having second thoughts, in the middle of the spell, if in the middle of the spell you start having some type of like, oh, well, should I do this? You need to, like Aluna said, stop immediately, because you're going to end up fucking yourself up. And I feel that's when shit goes back to you, is when you start having those regrets. Right then and there, really, in the middle of a baneful magic spell, you're going to start having second thoughts and feeling bad about what you're doing. You might as well, I mean, I don't even know.
Put the spell on yourself.
Yeah, put the spell on, slit your throat, slit your wrist, kill yourself, because that's what you're going to do. I mean, if you're really messing with those dark forces like that, are you serious? So yeah, you know what? A lot of you stay where you are at, because if you touch this, you will get hurt. So leave it to the professionals. Leave it to us, okay? Because this isn't a joke over here. I had to really, really know who I am. I really, really had to do some self-discovery, self-mastery. I had to go into my hermit. I had to go deep within myself and find out who I really am before I even picked up a book on baneful magic, and have your reasons. Have the reasons why you're doing this. You know, you have to. This isn't a game, you know. It's a lot easier for you guys to be out here and just, you know, like I said, pick flowers and daisies and, you know, do your little, you know, I don't even know, but I stay there, okay?
It's for the Instagram, though. Yeah. I personally feel like it's for the Instagram, and there's no problem behind that. I very much have said, like in the last show, honey, I'm very much about my aesthetics, too. But another thing that I want to touch on with this subject, too, don't think just because, like Taruk was saying, don't think just because a person is putting forth an aesthetic approach that is completely who they are. Don't think because a person is dancing with bones or posting pictures in black garbs or black, you know, like they're about that life all the way, okay? I'm telling you, because I have seen many things. We have communicated with spirits of the dark and of the light, nefarious spirits, okay? And we're not tooting our horn over here. We're being serious. We've communicated with both aspects, honey. I have conversed with the archangels and Michael and all them, and I have conversed with the goetic spirits of Solomon, okay? And I will use either. I will use either of no, it does not. So you feeling, you know, creeped out or, oh, my gosh, then that's fine, too. You know, you're entitled to feel that way. You're entitled to unfollow or do whatever you need to do. But just don't come trying to check either of us. And don't go around trying to check other people either. Let people do what they're doing and enjoying their shit. Enjoy their shit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And get your magic up.
Hello.
Get your magic on point.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, I think with that, we pretty much have said everything we've had to say. Is there anything else, Aluna?
That was it.
Okay, well, you guys definitely follow us on our social media. You can follow Aluna at Aluna Tarot. You know, she's on everything. Aluna Tarot on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. You can follow me, Taruk Vishal, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. And I do have a Facebook. Aluna does not have one yet, but I don't know when she's going to get one. But
they're not ready for that Facebook.
Yeah. You guys can follow us on that, and I know everybody's already following us on Triple Chalice Tarot and everything. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and with that, we will see you on the next video. So thank you so much, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.